Hello, volunteers. As you know, I'm Kaylin. I want to talk to you about a number of things, and email just doesn't seem to cut it for me these days because I type my little fingers away a lot of times, and I find that people end up not understanding a lot of what I'm trying to get across, mostly because there's probably too much detail in there. And since I know a lot of you aren't able to make it on Thursday nights, I just wanted to figure out a way to communicate with you, mostly just the heart behind what we're doing with the CF Kids Worship Sundays that are coming up. So I just want to have a chat with you for a little bit. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is just the leader's vision behind the CF Kids Worship Sundays. After we were able to get into this space with the kids, this past fall I was talking to Phil about just some of the things that I really had a heart for starting in this coming year, and I was sharing with him just some thoughts behind teaching our kids how to worship. And he said, "Great, when are you going to start? Like January?" And in my mind, I was thinking maybe this spring or something like that. And he was very adamant about wanting to start that as soon as possible, just because he really felt like it was something that would just help us grow together, and teach our kids how to be worshipers of God. So anyway, a lot of times you don't hear that side of things, and so I just want to make sure that you understand that our leadership is very much for this, and so they're excited, we're excited about this, and starting this is a new part of our ministry. So I know that in our conversations in the past, as far as your commitment to CF Kids, it hasn't been included in there with the CF Kids Worship Sundays. So I don't want to assume that you are committed to being involved in that, because it'll be the entire Sunday on the first Sunday of the month that you're scheduled. So I just want to put that out there, that I'm not assuming that you're just going to be there and be available. So if you would communicate back with me and just let me know, hey, I am committed to that, and that's something that I'm okay with, that would be helpful to me and to you, just so we have a clear communication there. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the flow for the meeting order that's going to be with the CF Kids. We do have some people that are committed to this first Sunday of doing the worship time together. It's not just going to be worship, but that's just what we're calling it at this point. So I just want to let you know what we're planning on doing at this point, and I need to look at my screen that's here. At the beginning, our check-in time is going to start at 8:45. So if you can plan to be there at 8:45, if you're able to come sooner, that's great. I don't think that many people will come before that point to check in their kids. So I think it'll be pretty chill for a little bit until about 9 o'clock, and then we'll start getting more kids as it turns 9 o'clock. So if you can plan to be there at 8:45, we'll do the check-in until about 9:10, and then at that point we'll move the kids into the 5,000. We will set up our main time in the largest room, which is what we normally use for the first through fifth grade meeting space. So that's where we're going to take all of the kids. We'll need to work on how we're going to transition the kids there. We may take them by age, and actually probably oldest to youngest, just because the older ones will have a greater attention span. So we'll probably just do that, and just file people in. It's going to be a lot of trial and error as we get started, so I just want to make sure people understand that it's not going to be a smooth working machine the first time or two, but hopefully we'll learn how to work together as we progress through. So the next part after check-in is that we'll all gather together in that room, as I mentioned. The meeting leader will just help set the tone. We'll probably do just just a few songs just for fun. For sure, one song, we might expand that as we go, but for sure, one song, just a common come together type song. The next thing is after that, we will move into our worship songs. This particular time, we'll be doing Counting on God, Not to Us, Mighty to Save, and our fun song is Hallelujah, Hallelujah, which is a musical round that you've probably heard before. So, the next thing is that the 3-year-old through kindergarten will be dismissed to one room. They'll do some group activities together in there. Most of them will be either watch puppets or and then free playtime, or it'll be watch a movie and then it'll be free playtime. We could even possibly do the snack time earlier in the service than we normally would. So that'll be up to the meeting leader to decide that part of it. I can see where that would be a desirable thing to do. If I were the teacher in there, I'd probably choose to do it earlier, but that's totally up to you. And the meeting leader is really going to be the one that's going to decide the meeting flow for the rest of the activity time. The kids don't always, that age group doesn't always get a lot of time in the rooms to just play. And so at that point, we'd probably divide up the kids and allow them to have some more free play time together. One thing that would also be a really great thing to do together in that age group is spend a little bit more time getting to know each other and talking as a group. I think that's one of the things that will really help just build relationship, is just spending time just talking to the kids, just mingling with them even as they're playing, and just be intentional about having conversation with the kids. And then also, just to put on your radar for the future, we're going to be practicing primarily for CF Kids Worship Sundays on the Thursday before that Sunday, which is our normal flow, but we might expand that to the 2 Thursdays prior to that first Sunday. We haven't had an overwhelming response to the CF Kids Community Night, so I think that would be actually a really great time to do that, because even if you're coming to prepare for your class as a teacher or a huddle leader, you would be able to do that simultaneously. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is the meeting leader's role in the time on that Sunday. I'm calling it a meeting leader because I want you to have that kind of a vision with it, which is what we call the adult leader, who typically, if someone has a word during this service for the adult worship time, if an adult has a word they want to share with the congregation, the people in the church would go to that person and share with them what the word is, and then they would discern whether it's something that they would share with the whole group. A lot of times that's a pastor or something like that, but in this case it's going to be you. So that's one of the things I really want us to encourage the kids into. You might think it's a little above and beyond, but I really believe that the Spirit works in really young kids. I've seen it happen, and we have some incredibly Spirit-filled kids in our midst. So I think it's a really great place to really encourage them to use those giftings at a really young age. So that's something that, as you're setting the tone, as you're encouraging the kids, maybe during this song, close your eyes and think about this aspect of this song or whatever it might be. Just encourage the kids to listen to God and also to share with other people what God's speaking to them. I could share you some really neat stories of a time that we had at camp a couple of years ago when we did that very thing, and it was amazing at just the response that the kids had in their hearts to God just during that time. It was just some really profound stuff. So I'm excited about having that time with our kids. The other part is just being an encourager of worship, just being intentional about, helping the kids understand worship, talking about why we raise our hands, why we clap, why we stand, why we do this, why we do that, why we don't do this, and, why we don't want to talk to our neighbor, throughout all of the songs or whatever. Just being intentional about that. So I'm going to leave that open to you, to just pray about that, to be intentional into thinking through some of the things you want to encourage the kids in, because really that's going to be your role as the meeting leader, just, encouraging them to be worshipers. And then also the other aspect is we're going to have some of the 4th and 5th graders be helpers and be involved in that. This is one of the things that I'm just really excited about starting with some of our kids. I've been calling a lot of the kids the last couple weeks, and it's been fun to have some conversations with them and just hear their excitement for being involved and leading the young kids in worshiping and things like that. So I'm excited to see us grow into this, and but along with that, we just need to be really conscious that this is a training ground, and we're training our kids to be lovers of God and to be worshipers of Him. And so I just want to encourage you in that. I know the struggle is really going to be to kind of discipline the kids in the direction that they need to be, like, telling them, no, you can't do that, this is what you should be doing, and things like that, and maybe being a little harsh. But I just want to encourage you to have the heart of a worshiper as you're leading the kids. So that's pretty much all that I have to share with you at this point. This is my first attempt at communicating through video, so if you have any feedback, if it feels too long, if you'd rather it come in a different format to you or whatever, I'm here to serve you. So if you can just let me know if this is helpful or not, that would be great. I know you all have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of things going on, so hopefully this is a good use of your time, and we can all be on the same page when we get together on Sunday. So I look forward to hearing your feedback, and God bless you. I'll be praying for you.